Okay, guys, let's start. Monica has also joined. Okay, guys, let's start the Jenkins today. Uh, Actually, it should be around 2 hour session because Jenkins is easy and hard as well. So we will start practically because there's nothing to tell much about theory in Jenkins and about the interview questions. Okay. So especially if you know AWS and Jenkins or Azure and Jenkins or Azure DevOps, any one cloud or any CI/CD tool. If you know these two things, you can crack any interview. I was searching about Ashneer. Okay, so let's leave this. So already I have set up some
Screen visible
Jenkins.
नहीं है, your screen is not visible.
Ah, screen is not visible, right? Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, so what's this? Some ChatGPT. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I was just doing this Jenkins thing, and the installation took a lot of time. Okay, so I will just tell the ways to how to install Jenkins. Okay, but after that you just do it. Okay, because if I start installing procedure, it will take a lot of time. So I'll directly jump into the Jenkins. Okay, let me log into my AWS instance. So guys, I hope you all know about Jenkins. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool that helps in automating the whole software development lifecycle flow. Okay. So suppose you are manually writing your code and then deploying to server. Okay. So these things you can do through Jenkins in a very automated way, in a very efficient way. Okay. So let's go to the Jenkins console. How the Jenkins console looks like. Okay. Once Monica already knows these things because one session I took where uh, not much people joined. So from where you can download the Jenkins, I'll just type Jenkins on AWS. Okay, there is an official website, Jenkins on AWS, and you just follow this process. You'll be able to install. Let me know if you're not able to install. Okay, EC2 you already know how to make it, how to log in. So from here, downloading, installing Jenkins. From here, you can just go ahead and install. So let's go to Jenkins. So I've already set up Jenkins in my EC2. So I just provide my password. So there is not much theoretical to tell here. Okay. Because everything is practical. So I want to show you in a practical way. For interview purpose, I can complete it in 1 hour. Okay. But let's see like how the whole process goes. Okay. So I was just doing through some Jenkins so that so let's go ahead at first pipeline, okay, and see like what other things can be asked in interviews as well. So I just clicked on new job. Okay. Right, it is so slow. Right, okay. Okay. So this is the console. Okay, how the console looks like. Okay, so this is the dashboard. Why it's so slow. Not sure why it's so slow. Let me put it in the incognito tab. Let's see how it looks. Same. If you say this is not secure because it's HTTP. Okay. So in environment, like in your company, it will be HTTPS. Okay. Certificate will be, you have to install the certificate in your server. So right now my server doesn't have any certificate. Okay. In Jenkins server. That's why it's because I don't have any valid certificate. But that doesn't matter. So this is the whole console looks like, guys. Okay. And if you see new item, build history, project relationship, everything is here. Okay. So we can build a job and how the job building happens. Let's see. Okay. So slow. This will take so much time. How would you complete it? Mhm. Okay, let's build some test job. So guys, if you see freestyle project pipeline, multi configuration project folder, these are all multi-branch pipeline. All these things are there. Copy from, like suppose already some job is there. Okay, you can directly copy from here. Okay. So I don't want to copy. Freestyle is not the feasible solution. In organization, everyone will use pipeline. So we will go with this pipeline. Oh man, broadband is which of, not sure. Let me complete guide. Okay. So this is the test job. Description you can write anything. It's up to you. So just practice it. Whenever I am making you practice in your home. At least copy the things, whatever I'm doing. So these are the things, these are the options. So let's see one option one by one. Discard old builds. Okay, so here you can see the description also. Okay, so it's like discard old builds. Other builds, if you don't want to keep, okay, you can just go ahead and discard it. So all builds will be gone. Okay, except this build. Okay, and next is do not allow concurrent builds. Like build after build is not allowed. Okay, GitHub project. So suppose I don't want to have any pipeline and suppose I don't want to write any pipeline here. So you have to write the script here. Okay. So you don't want to write any script. You write everything in GitHub and you just pull it from the GitHub. Okay. Just give the GitHub URL. That also you can pull it. Okay. And these are some things. So these questions have been asked to me. Okay. This build triggers. How build you want to happen. So build periodically is one thing. Suppose you want to run your build every Monday, every month, every year. Okay. So in that way, you can give some cron job expression that every Saturday it should run at 2 a.m. Cron jobs, I think vast people knows better on this. Okay. So GitHub hook trigger. So this is a very good thing. Okay. Suppose you don't want to run your pipeline manually. So as soon as your GitHub project changes, someone push something, commit something, the whole project should run. So suppose it happens, I have a React.js project running. Okay. Now I do some changes in the React.js project. Okay, in the code, and it should reflect in the browser. It has to run the pipeline, right, to reflect in the browser. So as soon as you do the changes, push your changes in the main branch, this pipeline will trigger, and you can see your new changes there. So the hard work is gone. Now poll SCM. Okay, poll SCM is like it's like a same like GitHub hook trigger. Okay, this is going to be expensive operation for CVS as every polling Jenkins entire also verified consider a push trigger to avoid this for it. So it's same like GitHub hook trigger. Okay, this SCM polling. So this is not much necessary. There is a difference between this and this, which even I don't know. Let's we'll see. Okay. quiet period, like some, I mean, it will be added to the queue. Okay, suppose your pipeline, you just trigger, but you want to wait for something. Okay, after 5 minutes, it should run. After 10 seconds, it should. Okay, so this you can do. And trigger builds remotely. So this pipeline don't want to run from here. Okay, I want to run from some script. Okay, suppose I have server in the script, so you can just use this pipeline. Okay, trigger builds remotely from scripts. Some authentication token you have to give enough. Very not very popular thing. This trigger builds remotely. Uh, Earlier we used to have the drain and drain scripts. Then used to trigger this. Okay, but now we don't do everything is cloud. So now the pipeline. This is the main thing. Everyone will ask question from here. Okay, what happened to? Okay, something happened. Why is this uneven? But that's the thing in Jenkins. It is a very time-taking journey. But at least we can get into. Hmm. Now it's good. Okay. So where is it? Whole page is not coming. No, it's not. Yeah, my whole page. Okay. Um, let's increase a bit. You guys, are you able to see? Let me know. Or is it so small for me? So if you're able to see, sample pipeline is there. So let's go ahead for hello world. Okay. Let me increase the size. Increase the size again. No, this is fine, right? Okay. Okay. So we'll go ahead and see. So if you see here, first is you have to start with pipeline world. Okay. Next is agent and see the indentation brackets. Okay, these brackets are very much necessary. You will do mistakes in these brackets. Okay, you have to be very patient while writing this pipeline. So whenever you are going to practice Jenkins, the full pipeline, have 2 to 3 hours in hand, 3 to 4 hours, I will say. Then start practicing. If you don't have time, just in 1 hour, I will just go ahead and write pipeline. Will go back. You can never learn Jenkins. For interview, you can clear, but you can never learn Jenkins. You can never write the pipeline by yourself. So you have to be very patient. Okay, just close your door and start practicing. When you are going to practice, if you're not practicing, just don't practice. So the keyword is pipeline. Agent is like suppose this project somewhere I have to run, right? Some EC2 server, some Linux server you have to run. So that's agent in stages, and then you can write the stage. This is the first stage. Okay, and then you have to write the steps. What you want to do with the stage. So just I'm printing hello world. Okay, so let's do this, or just make one more stage. So if you see how much I am copying up to this, two brackets, two brackets. Just go ahead. type enter, give one. So this is, I can write some uh, create a directory so that I can at least test whether it is forming or not. So let's make some. So whenever you are running a shell script, right? So most of you will work in Linux server. Okay. So you have to write it sh as the Linux server. And what is the command for making a directory? Everyone knows, I hope. Make dir hyphen p, or you don't have to give hyphen p. You can write Jenkins. Jenkins folder already used to create it. You can type ci c cic. Okay. So this is your what? This is your folder cicd will be made. Okay. And what is the difference p if I'm giving p? P is like suppose you have a directory already, right? Suppose you have a directory. Um, so suppose you have a directory slash home slash issue to user. Okay. So now if you do make dir test directory, where it will be made? It will be made in the current directory, right? It will not be made in this directory. So suppose you have to maintain this directory. Okay. Then you have to write hyphen p like parent. Okay. And you can write your directory. Yeah. And test. Okay. So this is the like you can give the path if you give the like nothing much. Okay. So let's save it. So this session can go a bit longer, guys. Today I want to take 1.35 hour session because 1 hour session is literally very short. I should have taken one session yesterday. I could not get time because last time when I was doing it Monica, some issues came. So if you see, I have built my file. Now I cannot see anywhere where I have written. Where does it go? How can you check like where I have written all these things? So you have to click on configure. So if you see now one job got created, test job, right? If you go in dashboard, you will see my test job got created. Let's see from the beginning how it looks like. What I will do, I will put one more duplicate tab so that I don't have to open it. So if you see my test job got created, okay, it has not run, so it's like not built, guys. Okay, so I can just go into the test job like this. So this I'm keeping out open. Okay, this I'm changing. So now, how where I can see, I have to click on configure if you want to see the details again. Okay. So if you see here, I have written the pipeline here. Okay. No description I have written. So let's give this is a test project. Okay, so everyone knows where my Jenkins is running, right? We all know our Jenkins is running on my okay, it got gone. Not sure. Okay, so it's running in my AC2. I have configured in my AC2. Log into my AC2. So I don't need to log in, but I want to show you something. Okay, so it's in my AC2 right now. Okay, so can you tell me, like, suppose I'm testing this pipeline, where the directory will be created? The one thing I written, like, make dir, where it will be created? I have given agent in. So whenever you are not giving any agent name, it will be deployed where your Jenkins server is there because there is no other agent, right, running in that. What is the agent? I will tell later. But right now, where the project will be there, it will be in your EC2 server. Okay. So it ran. If you see it's successful. Okay. So I have two stages, right? One is the hello create a directory. You can see here. Okay. And let's see the logs. So Jenkins things is never ending. Okay, you will find lots of new things. These are all things you can automate it. You can make colorful. Lots of plugins are there. So you can explore the plugins, but don't spend so much time in exploring. So uh, the main purpose of your working Jenkins is like you should deploy an app. Okay. It's able to deploy. So if you see here, all this got run, no failures. But how can I test it? So that's why I have made this CI/CD repo. Like echo is fine. Echo is just printing, right? Printing you cannot judge. So if you see this is the path, and where I should check this path in my EC2, right? Here it ran. So let's see if it got ran or not. Jenkins I'm doing after a long time. So many things I recalled yesterday. So if you just go ahead in this path, right? See your CI/CD folder is there. You can even navigate. Nothing is there. Okay. So anyone got any issues in understanding like how this job ran? Okay, I'll take it as no. Okay. Okay. So now we will deploy in one app directly. Okay. So before that, before we will start deploying an app, I'll tell you some interview questions, how it can be out there. Okay. First is that suppose I want to run the pipeline periodically. Okay. How can I run it? So you have to tell like while configuring the pipeline, I have the option of trigger conditions, right? Build periodically, poll SCM, webhook trigger, forget SCM. Okay. So I have to click on build periodically. It will build my pipeline on the periodical basis. Also poll SCM. So as soon as my what? As soon as my build periodical is also like that. Okay. Schedule, schedule. Okay. So and GitHub hook trigger is like suppose I do some changes in my repo. So one question comes, suppose I do some changes in my repo. I want my pipeline to trigger. So you can just tell you can opt the option for GitHub hook trigger. Okay, you have to tell that. Okay. Suppose I want my pipeline not to run for 5 seconds if I run the pipeline. So you can just give the quiet period and the number of seconds. Okay. 5 seconds, or suppose it's in minutes, you can just calculate into 60 and just put 5 minutes, 30, 300 seconds. Okay. So there is no other option apart from seconds. Okay. You should not give five. If it is 5 minutes, you have to give 300. Okay. Into 60. Always you have to do. Okay. So the next thing, mostly they will ask from this, whatever we have done from this. So some interview questions are coming from here. Okay. Next is, let's do one more thing, which have been asked in my interview recently when I given an LTI. So let's see, because I'm just uh, telling this. So let's use that interview question first. So next thing, what interview questions, what I have been asked is like, suppose this job I'm building, okay, everything is there, but I want a user input. So I want a user input like what? Uh, some pipeline I'm running. It has some credential, username and password. Okay. I don't want to be ready-made put in it. Okay. It should not be ready-made. I should give it. Then only the pipeline should run. Okay. So pipeline should not run like I build now and it should run. No. If I click on build now, there should be some option of user ID and password. Okay. So let's see how we can make it. Okay. So two ways are there. Second way is the uh, efficient way. First way is not the efficient way. Okay. But let's see two methods. But I don't want to waste time on first method. Let's go into the second method. It's taking a lot of time. So CICD. Yeah. So let's go ahead with the test job only. Okay, let's configure there because if I try to create so if you know Jenkins, you can definitely learn other CI/CD tools also, Azure DevOps, GitHub Action. GitHub Action is free. You can go ahead and test it. So this adds to your resume. Now you know Jenkins, you can add GitHub Action. So your skills are increased and your selection percentage is also increased because you know more tools. Right? So let's go ahead with configure. Okay. Oh man, what's this? Okay. So if you see there is one option. This project is parameterized. So let's go ahead. With it. Add parameter. Okay. So add string parameters. Name, username, default value. Default value you can give. Description. Enter your or default value you can give just like enter your username or something. Enter your username. Okay. And then add parameter. One more. String. Password. Default value. Default value anything you can give. And leave it also. Enter your password. So, and then and how could we test it? This this is getting done. So let's hello world. Let's put it as test. Okay. Echo test your parameters or test parameters. So actually, you will not test it. You will do something, but for now we are testing it. Okay. So echo. Now, how can I? Huh? Definitely. Okay. So how can I test it? So whenever you are parameterizing any value, whenever you're storing anything in parameter, right? Username, password. What you can do is dollar placeholder. You have to give params. Params dot what? Your variable name, username. I have the variable name username, right? Username. So echo, you have to put it in the double inverted comma. Let it print. And then you can just give like echo. My username is my username is and my password is. Same thing you can give instead of username. It will be password. Oh man, password. Okay. And then okay. So something is there. So if you see some issues are there. Yes. Right. Now what issue? So what it is telling? Got it anyway. Okay. Let's type it. Okay, it gone. I think two inverted commas were there. So that's why it was showing error. Now it gone. So let's see how it goes. So username and password. Yeah. So name your check the spelling always. So that's why I used to tell. So one tutorial video, if you see the most Java home cloud, always he's doing mistake in the spelling and he's getting error. So whenever you are doing, you should be very patient when you are writing, when you're testing your Jenkins. So Jenkins is easy, but give time to it. One day time full. Okay. I'm not saying give months and months like AWS. Okay. You have to give Jenkins, you can complete in one day, but keep 24 hours in hand. You should not go out. You should not cook food at that time, and you should go. So if you see now, one option got changed. It was build now, but now it what happened? It got changed to what? Build with parameters. How it got changed? Because I have selected that option. Okay, let me show you so that it will be stuck in your mind. Okay. So let me show other jobs to you where I have not parameterized. So the terminologies are very important. Okay. Now they may reverse the question like that. Now I have asked question like you, how will you give user input? Now they will ask question, how we can parameterize a project? Now you will think like, what is parameterize? Same thing, user inputs and parameterize. In Jenkins terms, it's called parameterize your project. You are giving parameters, right? So that's the thing. So you should know the terminologies as well. These are the terminologies. There's nothing like 100 terminologies. Some 5 to 6 terminologies are there. They will ask question on that. So now I'll go ahead with, okay, let's show like how other jobs looks like. So for now, let's test it also, and I'll show you other jobs. So build with parameters. You have to click on that. So whenever you're seeing this recording, right, just note it down. So I've said this question, right? How will you parameterize a project? So note down this question. Okay, how will you give user inputs? Note this question. Same answer. Just write same answer in your notebook wherever you note it. So if you see now, I'm not running this job directly, right? Because so if I go to other jobs, right, and see the thing. Now I'm getting this option, enter username, enter your password. So let's give the username Rishav and password is 12345 and nothing. Okay. So if you say build with parameters and here you let me show the difference, then you can go ahead. So if you say this build requires parameterize, how will you parameterize a project? And if you say build now, this job if I open, if you say build now is only there. But if I select this project, this job, build with parameters, difference. Okay. That's why I kept 2 tabs open to see the difference. Okay. Build. Then, okay, let's see. So here you should click, okay, success. If you see this icon, this tick mark icon, you have to click in this to get the logs. Okay, click on that. Yeah, otherwise also, like you can see the logs. So first you have to go here, okay, or you can check from here also. It logs is there. So if you see, it got replaced. Can you see it? It got what? It got replaced. Okay. Now you got it like how you can give user inputs. So one interview question you can got it, right? Okay. So now we'll deploy one app. Okay. So let's go ahead with then deploying the app. Okay, one more question has been asked to me. Okay. So the question is, suppose I have four environments: dev, prod, QA, and FUT or anything. Okay. So I want the drop down option. So whenever I click on build with parameters, I want to have the drop down option that if I click on dev project should run. If I click on prod project should run in the same pipeline. How can I do that? So let's build one more job and let this job be like this. Anyways, but this job will I'll delete everything, right? So just see the recording. Just because this is a very common question. Okay, so that's why I want to do this practical before going ahead with the deploying the app. Or we can have a separate session for deploying the app at all. It's a long time. I will keep the session for 2 hours at least, 2 to 2.5 hours, and you can complete Jenkins. Okay. So let's go with new item. Okay. Okay. So, oh man, one second. Friends. Okay, I'm just doing the test environment. Test environments. Okay. Yeah, so pipeline. This causes to deviate. Till it did not revolve. Okay, okay. Okay, so I told you there are two ways to parameterize, right? One is through the what is through the I have selected on this project is parameterized. Other is through the script. I told you the script way, right? So we'll do it with the script way. Right? I mean, it's not necessary that you have to go. You don't have to click on this project is parameterized. Go ahead with the script method. You can click on this project, but it all depends on you. But in interview, they can ask. While in practical scenario, when you do in your company, you can select on this project is parameterized. Okay. Because I have selected this project is parameterized in my company. So definitely you can do it. This is for testing different environment. Okay. So pipeline script. So let's go ahead with hello world sample and let's copy these stages uh, one more time. So you have to copy it in a very good way. So if you see stages, under stages, all stage will come. Okay. So don't copy the stages part, only copy the stage part. It's an array. Okay, it's like an array where in one list, stage is one list and inside this stage. So hello, hello, two stages. So let's give it dev and just this is for testing dev environment and this is for testing prod environment. Oh man. Selecting one thing is getting selected. And the stage I will put as what prod. Now I want to create one what? I want to create a parameterize my project. Without that, I should do that. Without the this option, this project. So there's a pipeline syntax if you'll see. Right. Let's have select a pipeline syntax. Okay. Now this is a very beautiful thing Jenkins has given, which I don't think any other pipelines have given. Azure DevOps has some ready-made templates, but in that way, very difficult. So in interview also you can just use this. Okay, it's not like in interview you cannot use this. Okay, because you don't have to remember the syntax and all, right? So you can definitely take help of that. Oh man, I think half of my time is going in these things, spinning the page. Okay, so if you see here, there's an option of of parameters. So see parameters, right? Now I can add my parameters. So what parameters I want to add? This time I will not add string parameter. I will add choice parameter, right? So name. First name is dev. Okay. Okay. Oh, not name. I will say uh, environment. Okay. Just type as environment. env. Okay. Choices I can give dev and but prod. Okay. And just I can give like uh, select your environment in the description. Select your environment. So this is a very practical scenario. There is nothing like after this you have to research on something. No, this is the same thing we used to do in our company. Okay, it's not like so if you just go ahead to generate declarative, so see it's how beautiful it is. I don't have to write any script. Every script has been given by this what is snippet generator. Okay, so just go ahead and write this in here. So you have to write before stages. Okay, parameters. Okay, select your environment. And now I want to give some condition here that this stage should run when your environment is dev. This stage should run when your environment is what? When your environment is what? Okay. So how can I give the condition? So you have to go with the when condition, right? When condition is there. So when condition is add. So lots of conditions are there. Let's see what are the conditions are there. Text environment. So if you see the environment variable, okay. So expected environment variable name, okay, and this sometimes don't use it. This when condition is a bit faulty. Expected value for environment variable is what dev. Okay, let's evaluate before options. Anyways, genetically when expression. Okay, so this is the environment variable. Okay, and I have given my environment variable name as env, right? This is my environment variable name. Inside that, there is option of dev and prod. So stage dev. Okay, this should run before this. I hope it should work. So I think here some error will come because this all of doesn't use to work. Mostly it's environment name or expression like that. I'll see. Okay. So, and this should work when prod will be running, right? No, no, it should not be stages. It should be here after stages. Yes, you are understanding the concept is more important than the pipeline to run. Okay. So these are things you don't have to remember, guys, but you should definitely practice at times. It will be helpful for your critical scenarios when you will be asked to write in the companies. Right? So this I did all these things like 3 years ago. Again, I'm doing for 3 years. I'm not doing Jenkins at all. Okay. So now one time we have to build. Okay. One time you have to build. So the next time you will get the option of the this thing. Okay. One time you have to run the build. It will not ask to refresh. Okay. Otherwise, now you will get the option. Just like in build now, build with parameters, you used to get the option, right? Here also. Half of my time is going in these things. Okay. So guys, we will not deploy the app today. Now if you see build with parameters is coming. Okay. So that's the thing in script. So in a normal scenario, when we just clicked on the option of this project is parameterized, as soon as you clicked, it gave the option for the build with parameters. But in script, you have to run the pipeline once. Okay, it will run. Next pipeline when you will run, you will get the option. Just remember that. So if they tell the difference, you have to tell this. So if you see here, drop down is coming. So such uh, very good things are there in Jenkins. The most beautiful part of Jenkins is that you can test what you can do in the project. Maybe in projects, there is very limited scope that some conditions have been given and you have to just test it. But in Jenkins real time, you can be more better. So that's why I always used to tell like, uh, if anyone says like, I don't get a DevOps project, okay, so I'm not able to learn. So I don't consider because DevOps you can only learn through a local laptop. The more you practice in a local laptop, you will be a DevOps engineer. I have seen people who don't know anything and still working and struggling because they don't have ever tested in the local environments. Okay. So let's click on build. So whatever you can do in your project, you can do here. More you can do. You can add more parameters. You can add more conditions. You can beautify your projects more in your local. Okay. So let's see. So guys, up to this we'll stop today because it will take time for me for the next thing. Okay, I think it will skip because mine is not environment variables. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it worked. So if you see, this is for testing dev environment. This got printed, but prod got skipped. Anyone? Why?
We didn't add that code right for prod.
Correct. Correct. Arthi is right. When condition I have not added there. So let's add the when condition and let's test it. Because I have not add the condition there that if it is prod, it should print. So I should have taken one more session by tomorrow because if I'm starting this, I want to continue because if I'm taking the next session next week, it will be very discontinuous for me. Okay, so I wanted to complete this at any cost. Okay, because one uh, pickle application will deploy. What we will do there, we clone the code, we will package the code, we'll make the Docker image from that, we'll make the Docker containers or through Kubernetes containers, and we'll deploy it into the server. Okay, so let me know whenever you all have time in the weekdays, we can start. Okay, so pipeline snippet generator, very important tool while you're running the thing, which I showed you last. Okay, so this one, snippet generator, declarative pipeline, very important. So how will you get this? You'll see in the option, pipeline syntax. Okay, so now I'll add one more condition. Okay, I have already added the condition, but when while clicking on the environment variable, I was selecting dev. That's why dev got printed. Okay, now I'll select prod, prod will get printed. Okay, I thought I have not added the condition, but I have added. I have not selected prod. Someone has asked me, I was teaching something that, what if both has to be printed? I said like no condition in there then. Okay, why you have to put condition then? If you want both dev and prod to deploy together, which is not an ideal scenario. Mm, small. So now I select just prod. Let's see. So this is where you can test it. Like you can also uh, uh, generate the condition for git clone and all. Also you can generate. So here normal clone project will work. So if you just go ahead with git, right, and give the URL and generate the pipeline script, it will give the git clone command here. Okay. I mean you can write git clone also, but there is a way in script also to write. Okay. So if I just go, so you can see, right? Dev, there is no logs because it did not run. Prod, it got logs. Okay. So here, if you see, this is for testing prod environment and dev in the last. So you can just in the last build, you can see this prod dev got run. If I go to the logs, testing dev environment. Okay. So this view, stage view, if you see, every stage will have a view. This doesn't come automatically. Okay. This comes through a plugin in Jenkins. So Jenkins used to have plugins. So whenever you are doing Jenkins, if you want this view, you have to go here. So guys, go ahead and see this recording. Very much important recording. This is. So let's go to manage Jenkins. So just see the navigation. What I'm doing. Do exactly the same navigation. Otherwise, keep on searching the options. So Jenkins is all about navigations and writing the pipeline script. Okay, there is one more word for this pipeline script. Okay, that name is Groovy. Everyone, if anyone says like, do you know Groovy scripting? So this is Groovy scripting. This is Groovy way of writing. Pipeline, stages, stage. These are called Groovy scripting. Okay. So if you go to plugins, Okay. Now, if you go to available plugins, okay, by default, many plugins Jenkins used to give. You don't have to install it. Okay. So suppose you are running git clone. How this git clone is running? Of course, you have to deploy the git. Okay, you have to install git in your server. But Jenkins, how does Jenkins know that it has git? So this is to the plugins. You can consider plugins as a port in laptop. Pen drive you used to put. How laptop knows this pen drive is there? You have the port. You just attach it to the port, and the laptop knows the pen drive is got detected. Okay. Same like you have your Git in this server, in the Jenkins server, but how Jenkins know that it has the server? It has the all the things. Okay. So you have to just type pipeline. Okay. So pipeline. And okay, I think I already installed. I'll just show you. Install plugins. So you can see how many plugins are installed. Innumerable plugins are installed. So pipeline. Okay. So one plugin you can download install is pipeline API, and one is pipeline view or something. So if you see stage view, right? This plugin, stage view plugin I have installed already. That's why you can see here. Okay. So you will, if you will not find anything in the install plugins, you have to go in available plugins and you have to select this pipeline stage view run. Okay. Just type pipeline view there and just click on install. Okay. It will install it. So you okay. Next thing, next session I will take. I think lots of time went in this spinning. Okay, I think I already installed. That's why it's not showing here. But you just have to click on view. You will get this option here, and you have to select on install. If you see this install option is there. Okay, and then you will see everything in the installed plugin. Okay, so suppose I have to do this. I have to just click on install. Okay, it will install it everything. Okay, so it will start installing, and you can see here when you say installed complete, you can see here. Okay. So it's pending, it will get installed. You can restart the Jenkins also, just click on that, it will restart your Jenkins. Okay. Okay. So Jenkins will restart, so you can relog it. So I'm just stopping this here.